Okay, looks like we're starting with Eric. Go ahead with your questions.
Terry told us earlier in the mix zone that you were a little bit bummed yesterday morning that they didn't have the pyro and the big fanfare and stuff like that. So
yeah, I was joking around yesterday morning. I was like, "Where are my fireworks? I heard you get one for a world record." Me and Haley got gypped yesterday, but yeah, no, it was really nice to see the fireworks and tonight, and to get the ticket to Beijing out of the way. I mean, this is such an emotional meet that it just feels so good to finally be on the team, and you kind of get to take a breath and enjoy the rest of the meet now.
Nat, you said in the mix zone that you felt a bit more tired than you expected you would going into tonight. Did you feel that in the last part of the race? And also, is that your fear about the 200 IM, that it's going to take an edge off your 100 back?
Well, last night I was surprised at how I was feeling going into that race, and I think what I interpreted to be tired was more nerves than anything, because actually after the 200 IM prelim this morning, I felt better than I had beforehand. So I think it was just nerves, and I felt great in that race tonight. And again, nerves. The last 50 meters, I was like, oh my God, just get your hand to the wall. And that's really what I was thinking. Yeah, I'm very, very happy with that time. And I'd love to see my splits in the video. I haven't even had a chance to think about that race yet.
Go ahead, Vi.
Natalie, how much do you think Haley's experience from yesterday to today sort of epitomizes what you were worried about and sort of the whole cruel nature of this event?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a very good way to put it. It is a cruel meet. And I was saying this earlier, I have been on the national team for so many years, so I have so many friends that I'm cheering for, 4 or 5 people per final, and there's only 2 spots. So it's incredibly difficult in that way. What was the question? Yeah, it does. And sorry, I'm tired. But people assume that if you're the world record holder, that you're going to go to Beijing, no problem. And anything could happen at this meet. I mean, it's just how the sport is. It's the nature of the beast. It's unfair, and fortunately, I've seen both sides of it before. And I think having had so many experiences, that it really helped me get through tonight.
Natalie, could you talk about your decision to not put a prelim time down at least in the 200 free, kind of like what Lochte did, and how does that affect the relay situation in the 800 free relay?
I really have no idea how that affects the relay situation. I mean, it just wasn't really feasible. I wasn't going to do a 200 free and a 200 IM this morning. I'm not 18 anymore. The swims definitely take a bit out of me. I'll leave it up to the coaches. If they want me on that relay, that's great. If not, I'll take it. I feel like I'm a very strong 200 freestyler. I've never, said I want to be in that event individually. I just would like to be on that relay. And I'm putting it in, Jack Bowerly and Mark Schubert's hands.
Rebecca?
With the 200 IM, if you qualify for that tomorrow night, what will it take for you to swim it at the Olympics? I mean, what's going through your head with regard to that?
I have no idea. I was trying to downplay the 200 IM as much as possible because I only considered doing it, just over a week ago. I had 2 good swims in that event this season, and both times it was just kind of not a fluke, but I just did it because there was no other events for me to do that day, and I was pleasantly surprised both times. I have no idea. I'm going to do my best tomorrow night, and then do my best in the 100 free, and then Terry, my coach, and I will look forward and look ahead at the Beijing Games.
Natalie, if to talk about the facility for a moment, and especially being a backstroker, when you swim there and you look up and you see those Olympic rings, does something, how you see those
To
coming
tell you
down?
the truth, I don't see
You
anything.
don't see it.
I mean, during warm up, it is overwhelming and distracting. Like during warm up today, I was watching the videos and getting completely distracted. But the importance of the situation being the Olympic trials takes over, and I'm not looking at anything other than the splashes around me, and that's pretty much it. I was actually thinking about that in warm up today, how funny it is that I don't see any of that stuff during the actual swim, but it's really cool. Like the pyrotechnics are awesome, and the way that they have the water drop down with the graphics in it. Last night was the first time I saw that. I was like, whoa, that's so cool. It's a beautiful facility. Really, they've done a really, really nice job.
Natalie, there's not many people who could swim all the different events that you could potentially swim at a meet like this. How much is it stressful for you to determine your program? A lot of thought obviously goes into it.
It is a bit stressful because, unfortunately, a lot of my events end up on the first few days. So I, wanted to do the 100 butterfly, but it just wouldn't have been a smart decision, in my opinion, to do the 100 butterfly final 10 minutes after the 100 back semifinal, for instance, or the tuner free, tuner IM. Katie Hoff is doing an amazing job doing that double. That's a very, very tough double to pull off, and she does it well. It is stressful because I would like to see how I could do in a tuner free. I would like to see how I could do in the 100 fly or some other events, but it's not like I have a light program with the 100 back and then hopefully the 100 free and then maybe the tuner IM and then the relays. A lot of thought goes into it, but that tuner IM kind of surprised me and kind of came out of left field.
Natalie, the 100 back is your baby. Did you is breaking 59 seconds? Has that been sort of on your checklist? And is it any more meaningful than the other 3 times you broke the record there?
It is. It's cool to break the barrier for the first time. When I went 59.2 in Missouri and then again 59.2 at Janet Evans, I knew that a 58 was possible. And today in that race, when I turned at the 50, I could underwater is the very first time I could ever hear a crowd underwater cheering. I don't know if they have speakers underwater, if they were just that loud, but I knew I was having a good swim, and I knew I just needed to hold it together. And I was hoping for that 58, barely, but I'm very, very proud of it.
Do you have any other questions?
Natalie, going back to the 200 IM, you spoke so highly of Katie, and I think it was actually kind of touched upon a little bit by some of us who were at Janet Evans, talked about kind of what your strengths are and her strengths are, and styles make fights and stuff like that. I mean, how do you go about, because you've said that despite the fact that you're the world record holder on the backstroke, that it's not your best. I mean, how do you go about setting yourself up for this race against her?
I'm really not thinking of the tuner IM tomorrow night as me against Katie or me against whomever. I'm just going to swim it and do my best. I know my strengths are, I'm able to take it out pretty fast in the fly. My backstroke is good. It's not spectacular in the IM by any means. My breaststroke, I try and hold it together as long as possible. And then I have a good freestyle leg. And Katie, she's kind of, the middle hundreds, her real strength. She definitely brings it home fast in the freestyle, but she's very, very fast in the back to breast transition.
Okay, thank you, Natalie.
Thank you.